Lady, in today's episode of Grown Lady Chat, we're going to be having a chat with a professional organizer. And she just so happens to be my sister. Jasmine Smith is going to share with us some practical ways that we can begin to organize and refresh our spaces immediately. So stay tuned. Hey, lady, welcome back to your new favorite talk show for Christian women, Grown Lady Chat. With me, your host, Dr. Sharonda Simone. Today's chat is going to be one that is going to absolutely transform your organizational skills in your life. Let me tell you, whether you're watching this at the top of the year or you're watching it in the middle of the year, you're going to get some value from our conversation. Now, during today's episode, I'm going to be sharing the question of the day like I usually do. And every time you interact with Grown Lady Chat community, whether it's by answering the question of the day or chatting it up in the comments, it's another opportunity for you to be entered into the random giveaways. Now, if you are a giveaway winner, lady, you could get a gift card, home decor items, makeup, skincare, or beauty products, faith-based resources, or personal development tools. So make sure that you're involved in the community because you get just as much as you give here in Grown Lady Chat. All righty, lady, I hope you're ready, okay? Because she dropped some gems in today's episode. So grab your notebook and make sure you stay tuned until the very end because she shares a discount code specifically for Grown Lady Chat community members. Hey, lady, are you a woman who loves the Lord and who also enjoys beautiful things? Well, if you are, then you are personally invited to join my exclusive Christian women's group. In this group, we chat about clothes, beauty, home decor, parenting, marriage, cooking, and of course, our Christian walk. It's Christian lifestyle all encompassing. So be sure to join by clicking the link below. I hope to chat with you soon. Now back to our show. All righty, ladies, here she is, Jasmine Smith, professional organizer. We're going to have such a great conversation, and I cannot wait for you to hear all of the details and information she has for us to get our lives together. All right, so grown ladies, let's give Jasmine Smith a warm welcome. Yay!
Hi,
I am so
everyone.
happy that you're here and we're excited. Okay. I know that I've had a conversation with many women in our community and they are all looking for ways to just organize their lives, right? And get things together and just clean up their spaces so it's more functional. So I'm so excited that you're here. You look absolutely lovely today. Absolutely lovely. Let me know how you doing. How you feeling today?
Oh, I am great. I'm happy to be here. I've been a fan for a long, long time. So I'm excited to just be part of the actual Grown Lady chat. So, yes,
Yes.
very
Yes.
happy.
Like I always let people know, anytime someone has been around and supporting and just involved since day one, they're considered my A1 since day one. And Jasmine is definitely a grown lady who has been A1 since day one. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, see now, ladies, you all know, and of course, Jasmine, you know that nearly every episode I like to do a question of the day. All right, so that way we can generate good conversation. And every time you comment on a video, every time you share the video, like the video, or do any interaction with Grown Lady Chat community, that's another way for you to enter the random giveaways. All right. So for the question of the day, drop in the comments and let me know what is one space in your home that you want to refresh or organize. Okay. Whether it's a digital space, whether it's a drawer, whether it's a closet, whether it's a whole room, I want to know because I'm curious, what are some of those messy areas that you have in your home? As always, I will pin the question of the day down in the comment section and I'll share my response there as well. You are not alone in this endeavor to get your life in order. All right, so let's just jump into it, okay? Because we have our professional organizer here. So tell us a little bit about your business and what services you provide.
Yes, I'd be happy to. So, my business is Refresh Professional Organizing, and we do home and office and digital organizing. So, to kind of go back to the name of it, that kind of is the crux of my business and my goal and vision with Refresh. So it's refreshing what we already have. Many of us already have some sort of understanding, a little bit of a system in place, and we just don't quite have it right. It's taking, that's where I step in. I kind of take what you have, take the tools you have, any information you might have, and I kind of just help refresh your mind and your take on your space. So um, I focus on sustainability using the tools that you have, like I mentioned. So we have boxes, we have packages, we have so much, so many things are coming into our homes, and we can use that to keep our space organized. So that's that my main vision. I also, we do digital organizing. So just like we need help organizing our physical spaces, we spend so much time in the digital arenas. We're on our phones, we're in our emails, and that requires organizing as well. So that's where Refresh can step in and help.
I have personally used Jasmine for two main projects, and we're working on our third project, right? So
Yes.
I can attest to the fact that even someone who I would consider myself to be organized, I would say, oh, yeah, I'm an organized person. I know for the most part where things are, where they should go. But even still, ladies, I struggled with, just areas in my home that I just couldn't get a grasp on. And maybe you can relate, maybe you're like, okay, I know the vision I have for my space, but yet you just can't quite get it right. And, in my opinion, that's where a professional organizer would come in. But of course, Jasmine, you're the professional and you've had, many other clients. Let me know why would someone who even would consider herself organized and on her stuff, why would she still benefit from these skills of a professional organizer?
Yeah, yeah. No, and that's a great point. So the majority of people can organize their space. They have the tools, they have the internet, they can Google how to organize. There are a million videos that will show you a bunch of acrylic packages and boxes, and you can do whatever. But there are several reasons why it just doesn't happen, like you mentioned, somebody might already have the everything that they need, that mentally they're an organized person. They might not have the time, the mental space, the energy to do it. For example, I had a client, she was preparing for her wedding. It was overseas, and she was buying all, everything that goes into a wedding, all of the decor, gifts for people, guest bags, gifts for the vendors, just everything. And she had it all here, and she is an organized person. This is one of my like deep, close friends. And she has, her home is organized, but she just did not have the mental space to organize all of the things that she needed to pack and get overseas for her wedding. And she hired me to do it. So it took me one afternoon. I was able to take all of the everything that she had, condense it down, get her an Excel sheet that showed this is what's in this luggage. This is what you need for customs to go into, overseas with this. And it was something that she definitely could have done herself, but she did not have the mental space, the capacity, the time while planning a wedding to do that. And I think that that's like a similar sentiment that a lot of us have, where we have we know how to do something, but we don't have the space to do it. And I'm all about hiring a professional to do something like that in that scenario, just because it'll get done easier, it'll get done faster, and then you don't have to stretch yourself too thin trying to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is something where I don't even think people realize, just how crippling it can be when you see all of that you have in front of you and you know
Yeah.
what needs to be done. But again, if you don't have that God-given talent, which I do believe it's a talent, if you don't have that God-given talent to put things into compartments, it can get so overwhelming. It can get so
Yeah.
overwhelming. And I've been there before. And I know that we talked about this, even with the projects that we've done together, that you've done for
Mhm.
me. It's like my closet space, in my home office. Every time I would open the door, it's like this feeling of overwhelm and dread, because
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know what needs to be done. I have
Yeah.
the resources to do it, but I myself just can't find it, whether it's the time, energy, whether it's just the emotional energy that needs to be
Mhm.
expended. to
Yeah.
actually go through all of those things. Like that was like one of our catch spaces in the house ever since we moved in. And I just remember talking with you and just sharing my frustration. And you were like, "Oh, I can get it done." And I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Really?" You're like, "Yes, that's what I do professionally." And I'm like, "Oh, duh." Right.
Yeah.
And you came in, ladies, let me tell you, she came in and I want to say, how long did it take you? It wasn't even like 4 hours
Yeah.
total,
Yeah. It's usually
and
about 4 hours, I would say. I mean, I've organized multiple spaces, bedrooms, offices, closets. It does not take if you remove the emotional aspect from it, which is something you mentioned, and another thing I wanted to highlight as to why it's important to have a professional organizer come in, because we all have emotional ties to our items, good emotional ties, bad emotional ties. And so if you're looking at something like a closet that has been just, this is where you're putting everything that you're going to get to one day
yeah,
emotionally to you, that closet is bigger than what it actually is. I had a client once, for example, he had left a company 2 years ago. And he left this company, and it was under good circumstances. He was going out on his own to start a business. But we all know even good change can be scary. And so he left the company. They gave him on his last day, it was like a Marshall's bag that just, he put everything from his desk at that previous company into this bag, and that's when he left, right? And so he had this bag, it had like just random stuff from his desk on it, and it sat on his home office floor for 2 years. 2 years it sat on the floor, and it kind of haunted him. He didn't want to go in the bag. It was a lot of literal emotional baggage tied to this bag. And it for 2 years he would kind of beat himself up, like, oh, I need to do it. Oh, I need to get, like, why am I not just picking the bag up, going through it? And it wasn't until he hired me and I was there and I was able to talk to him and understand. That's just one example of the way that our stuff is more than just stuff. And we have to give ourselves grace. And a good way to do that is to have someone else come in and help you, because I don't have the emotional ties to it. My goal is to help you be organized and declutter and free up that emotional baggage for new things and for good things. And yeah, so yeah.
wow. I just hearing you tell that story, I'm like, ooh, that might be why I have certain things in my home, in my space that I haven't addressed.
Hmm.
It could be due to emotional baggage. I
Yeah.
mean, like, wow, that's pretty impactful. Ladies, I don't know about you, but you know, maybe that might be true in your situation. Maybe that might be something that you're experiencing. You have children and they've grown up
Hmm.
and they've left behind some things, or maybe they're even, from baby, now they're toddlers, and you're holding on to these things that you could bless somebody else with, you could repurpose in your life, but because you have that good emotional
Hmm.
ties, good emotional, strings, but yet they're adding clutter to your life. God does like order. He operates in a certain way. And when my space around me is cluttered, when there are aspects of my life, whether it's my digital space, it doesn't matter whether I have disorganization or organization around me, it impacts how I function. It impacts what I do. It impacts how productive I can be. So ladies, I'm curious, please answer the question of the day. What is one place or space in your home or your digital space that you need to refresh and organize? All right. So make sure you answer the question of the day. You've been, a professional organizer, I would say, for a long, long time, just because I've known you all your life. And so even though there might not have been a label attached to it, I've always known you to, just be someone who is highly organized in your thoughts and in the way you approach life. And so, let us know, how did you come to do this professionally?
I do think that, like you mentioned before, there is a certain amount of, God has blessed me with just the way that I approach the world. Like, I really will take in information and I try to organize it in my mind in a way that makes sense to me. I'm always looking for the most simple way to do something, a way to repeatably do something in a simple manner. That's just kind of how I was born. However, my mom is also very organized, and you know that as well. She is a clean person, an organized person, and growing up knowing like that there's no clutter, there's you don't go to bed with dishes in the sink. Like it's just certain things that kind of got instilled in me as well. And then additionally, I have about 10 years of experience in pharmaceutical drug research, and even before I got into pharmaceutical research, I've always had a researcher type of mind. Like I said, taking information, making sense of it, finding a way to repeat something that's repeatable, having certain steps to achieve a certain outcome is something that I've been interested in since I was in middle school doing science fairs.
Hey, lady, are you a woman who loves the Lord and who also enjoys beautiful things? Well, if you are, then you are personally invited to join my exclusive Christian women's group. In this group, we chat about clothes, beauty, home decor, parenting, marriage, cooking, and of course, our Christian walk. It's Christian lifestyle all encompassing. So be sure to join by clicking the link below. I hope to chat with you soon. Now back to our show.
And he was talking about his office and how much it was just really stressing him out because he wanted his office to be clean. I went and looked at it and it was actually a fall hazard. I can probably do this in an hour and a half and it would be fun for me. Like it actually is enjoyable for me because I'm able to see the impact that it has on people. It was like about an hour and a half, and I was able to, because it was not something, it was impromptu. I just wanted to help him out. So we got rid of a lot of items. And then I realized that he had things in place. He had the organizational tools, he had boxes, he had things in his drawers to organize it, but it just wasn't it wasn't making sense for him. It wasn't intuitive to him. And he didn't have a routine in place that would make him go back and organize these items. So I took what he had and I refreshed it. For example, I can think of one. He had a lot of pill bottles, just pill bottles, empty pill bottles, and or ones his vitamins that he's taking, and he would keep them in one area. It was like within arm's reach when he was sitting at his desk, but he was trying to train himself to have another area where he would keep his pill bottles. And I was like, well, if your mind is telling you that what makes sense to you is that the pill bottles, you can reach for it right here while you're at your desk, then let's organize it. Let's have it over there. It's not about you changing yourself to fit into what the mainstream says is organized. Everything is in a plastic acrylic container. It's not about that. It really truly is about what works for you and what makes sense for you and your system and your lifestyle. Something as simple as just moving a couple of feet over where he put the container where he puts his pill bottles that helped him to empower him. He's not trying to go against what makes sense to him. He's putting it where it needs to be. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of.
Are you a woman who enjoys beautiful things? 34/5 Lifestyle has lovely, unique accessories for your everyday look and also for those special occasions. Click the link below to check out our latest accessory collection. And so you might be sitting there thinking like, yeah, I'm neat. I'm clean. You present yourself well, you get your work done well, you care for others well. But yet there's this underlying disorganization that you just can't get a hold of. And that's where a professional organizer would come in. That's where, working with Jasmine could absolutely change your life. I'm telling you right now, she has worked on 2 projects, like specifically projects that I've hired her, paid her, invoice done. Okay. And that is some of the best money I have ever invested, because I don't even think of it as spending. It's an investment. I mean, my children are happier. She's working on Cameron's room this spring. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, he is so excited. She's already done Brennan's room. He is, even just today, he was like, Mom, look. And he was showing me, like, I used this part of my room just as, Auntie told me to. And just like, I mean, and he was so excited. He was literally showing me the bench that you put in his room,
Yay.
right? And initially, he hadn't used that storage container, like that storage area underneath, because Saturday is like our main cleaning day in the house. He calls me, he's like, Mommy, look, I was able to use this space. And he's just so pleased. He's so proud of his room. I want to encourage you, if you're watching and you feel as though you can Google it and you can make it work. And for some people, it can. Maybe you have that
Mhm.
skill, you just need a little bit of prompting. But ladies, if you've tried on your own and you haven't found where it's worked repeatedly for you, which I think is a good point you brought up, is that you have to make it make sense for you. And especially with, social media and all of these, reels and shorts, and you might find yourself trying to fit into someone else's their plan and their way of thinking and their organization because that works for them, but it might not work for you. It might not work for your family, right? So I think that is really awesome that you're able to see what your client needs and you're able to work within that need versus trying to impose on them what, you know, TikTok or Instagram
Yes.
says should be the norm, right?
Yes,
I think that's that
exactly.
right there is that right there, that nugget is, I think, freeing for many, many people. I promised at the top of the conversation that she's going to share with us some life impacting tips and skills. Okay, ladies, I'm ready for this. Okay, I have my notebook. Today could be the day that you refresh your space.